YouTubers, it's me, Lonnie Clark, Nuts for Art. I'm sorry I'm a little bit late. I was looking at links, and then I remembered that I didn't send my comparative politics teacher the Corbett report video. We were talking in class and about democracies. This is called the comparative politics class, and we were talking about democracies and about how it's not really democracy if you attack your own nation and start a war illegally. And she used some other country, and I'm like, yeah, here. And she went back to something in Detroit that happened a long time ago in the 60s, and I'm like, 9/11. She kind of gave me this look, and I'm like, haven't you seen the Corbett report? James Corbett reports thing. Look at my lipstick, it's all yank. Hang on, I gotta get that off. Ugh. I don't know why I wear lipstick. I like the color, but anyways. But so I was sending that to her, which is why I'm late. So thank you for joining me. I'm going to be doing this every night. And let me see if I can open up the live chat. I see I have a visitor here. I'll say hi to you. Hi, visitor. I can't actually see who's on there. I don't think I can see who's on there. I don't think it shows me who's there. It just says how many viewers. Anyways, I forgot to invite Jerome. Oh, God, I'm going to do that right now. I totally forgot. Here he is. Yeah, there he is. He just sent me a message, said, hey, send a link. So link, he'll see it. Okay. So, man, I feel like I had a long day, you guys. And you know what I really want to talk about tonight, more than anything about breaking the nuclear taboo, is how to stay positive. Like, let's think, like, I've been thinking all day about what are the alternatives? What do we want to have happen? What's the best possible outcome? Oh dear, something happened to my phone. I should make that go down. That means if somebody calls me, we'll get blasted with music. It is 8:34 now. I want to show you the links that I'm gonna. Maybe Jerome will just pop right in. If he does, I did send him a link, so I think that means if he pops right in, we'll see him. So, but I'm going to show you the links that I found tonight because this is pretty amazing. Once again, this is why I was a little bit late also, is I decided to try to do everything in here, and this was, which email is this? Oh, that's personal. So this one, check this out. This is the one I'm going to be doing, and I want to show you this email address. It's the Age of Fission email, and I subscribe to these energy, Western uranium. Here, look at my email address so you guys can see it, Age of Fission. I'm going to start doing videos from the Age of Fission. But I think on Nuts for Art, I'm going to keep this nuclear emphasis and environmental emphasis because it's part of art, it's part of the life, right? But I think on the Age of Fission, what I'm going to do on that show is, on that video, when I do videos from there, is I'm going to do things that talk about how we can improve our lives. Because, oh, I didn't screen share with you, for goodness sakes. Jerome, are you with us?
I am. I just pulled up.
Yay. I think this is the right one. I wanted to show you guys this. I showed them, and then I forgot that I wasn't screen sharing. And so now I have to remember that I'm not screen sharing with everybody. So present to everyone. There we go. See, I'm getting faster at remembering anyways. But check this out. This is my email address for the Age of Fission. I got this when I started the radio show. I'm going to start doing little clips like this on my own on this video, and they're just going to be like little inspirational things that I do in my life to make my life happy, and the things that we can do to, like, yeah, we're living in the Age of Fission, so what? Get over it. Like, we have to figure out how to be happy and open our hearts up to the sun. You know what I mean? Like, we have to embrace the life that we have instead of worrying about, we're already in the stew. There's no getting around it. But we do have an obligation, I believe, to follow these rats. So check this out. I went here. This was like, oh my gosh. Because I came back, I wanted to show you this website, the Independent World Health Organization. And they just stopped. For the last 15 or 20 years, they've been having a nonstop vigil. And they just stopped recently. They had a 7-day vigil outside the World Health Organization, outside the IAEA, the UN nations, to ask them to renegotiate with the IAEA. So you can look and see what they did. Their vigil. This is the vigil that they did. I can show it to you right here. This is what they did. These are ex-doctors who worked for the IAEA. They stood outside the headquarters. They maintained each day working between 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. to remind the United Nations of its duties as defined in the Constitution. That's right. It says, the World Health Organization ignores these rules from the Hippocratic Oath when it comes to protecting health from the consequences of the nuclear industry. Up to now, 300 people have participated in the vigil. They come from several European countries as well as some from America. These are doctors who do this. So this is not just nobody. These are real people who worked for the IAEA and said no more. Now, this is the thing I wanted to show you, is this article about agreement WHA 1240. This was signed in 1959. Everything happened around 59, 57. If you look at how geopolitics happen now, did you hear Barry's show today?
I didn't know.
Oh man, I wish you had. I wanted to talk to you about it because the guy mentioned something about they knew a long time ago that we could get it up to 1.5 or 1.7 degrees Celsius. They could geoengineer the Arctic, and they wanted to melt it by 1.7 degrees. Don't you think that's kind of a coinky-dinky that this guy, the same guy who's pushing nuclear, what's his name, Hansen? And his gang of thieves, they all, and Bill McGibbons, they all say we can't hit 2 degrees Celsius. But the oil company, they know that they can geoengineer it to 1.7 and melt the Arctic, which is what they've been doing.
Yeah,
you get what I'm saying?
In the sky over Arizona today, there were very, very, very many contrails, chemtrails, actually.
You mean the geoengineering?
Yeah, I mean, you could just see it in the sky where it was a strip of clouds, and it was the strangest looking thing.
Well, Dane Wigington says it's extremely important not to use that term, the chemtrails. If you want to talk, because that's how they get people. But check this out. The Western Uranium Corporation announces its attendance at Mines and Money Americas Conference at the Delta Toronto Hotel in downtown Toronto. Here you go, you guys. Up in Canada, you can go and protest these people. International series of investment conferences focused on mining, which bring together natural resource investors with a broad range of public mining companies. These are all the offenders that are going to be there. About Western Uranium Corporation, this is the biggest people. A Colorado-based, right where you're at, brother, a Colorado-based uranium and vanadium conventional mining company focused its long-term near production of uranium and vanadium in the western states and the development of ablation mining technology. Honestly, these people are criminal. Check out this. This is the toxicology of vanadium. This is what they have done nothing to study it. They have only tested mice. Cancer. Cancer has been found in mice to expose vanadium. Listen to what it says to effects in children. This is very interesting. The health effects seen in children from exposure to toxic levels of vanadium are expected to be similar to the effects seen in adults. We do not know if children would be more sensitive to the vanadium toxicity than adults, meaning they don't know. They have not tested. We do not know whether vanadium can cause birth defects in people. Listen to what they do say, though. Studies in animals exposed during pregnancy have shown that vanadium can cause decreases in growth and increases in the occurrence of birth defects. Listen to this. These effects are usually observed at levels which cause effects in the mother. Effects have also been observed at vanadium doses which did not cause effects in the mother. You get it? Birth defects. Yep. That's an interesting way to say birth defects. I mean, honestly, the vanadium mining, the uranium mining, these people are just toxic the way they do it. So if I did pull up that 9/11 video, have you seen this?
A conspiracy theory? No, I have not.
Oh man, you have got to watch. Yes.
So it's Stephen Corbett. Corbett, what's his name? Stephen Corbett, right?
Corbett.
Corbett.
I'm going to send this to you, man, for sure. You've got to watch this for sure.
Thank you.
So I'm going to send it to you on Skype. We'll stop sharing. I'm showing everybody your name on Skype, Jerome.
That's fine. I'm not scared, man.
You're not scared of me either. I'll stop sharing. Hold on. I'll send you this. You got to see it. That's like, this is the thing. My teacher at school hadn't seen it. That's why I was a little bit late. I was a little bit late getting on. Because I, honestly, I had to send her this video because I made a comment about it in school. That's what I was saying before you came on, was that I want us to, we have to focus, like we have to look at these things, but there has to be more than just looking at the downside. I mean, it's all the downside. Let's just be clear. None of this stuff is really good. None of it. None of the chemicals, the more you unpeel this onion, the rotten, the more. I mean, this is just a filthy pig that we've been ignoring for a long time. Because we have been swallowing the pablum. The people has awoke. You know what I mean? And we're like, what the fuck? We're having like what I call a Scooby-Doo moment. You know what I mean? You're like, exactly. Like, excuse me, hello? That's exactly right. And honestly, when you try to contact your elected officials, you're even more shocked at their like,
they don't have any idea.
Laissez-faire, don't worry about it. Everything's fine. We're doing it by procedure. Trader Trump is selling us down the river. Honest to God, he looked like he got bitch slapped in China, which he did actually. And he saw what they're doing over there and what the freaking Congress is. All these. Like, this is the sad part about our country. It's not just one party. It's their whole shebang of them. They're just all, it's all run by the military coup. This is why when this guy, General Kelly, he tried to squash some investigation of something, I'm like, these guys, they have no right to do any of these things. Like, if we're going to say we're a democracy, we have a right to rule of law. That is the primary definition of a democracy. And if they're going to fight that, then they're going to declare themselves not a democracy.
Hey, Lonnie, check this out. All vanadium compounds should be considered toxic. Tetravalent vanadium sulfate has been reported to be at least 5 times more toxic than trivalent vanadium trioxide.
I know.
It's
like uranium, but this is the point here. This is my greater point here, though. Let me see.
Any amount greater than 35 milligrams per square meter in the air is considered immediately dangerous to life and health, and is liable to permanent health problems or death.
Or death.
Yes.
Okay, so WCA, listen to this. Watch, I'll screen share this with everybody. Hold on. Watch this. This is right out of my, now you guys can get this. You can actually, I think that's it. WC there. All right, now let me go back and screen share with everybody. Because, there. Okay.
Stuff is very poisonous.
Look what this says. Okay, let me go back to this screen and get in here. And I'm going to move to this link, okay? Open in a new link. We'll go here. Look what this says. This is what they're doing. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, so this is what they're going to do. Immediate release. Western Uranium Corporation is pleased to announce it is signing a binding letter of intent to purchase the Grace Hill property from Pacific Gold and Royalty Pacific. Grace Hill is located in western Colorado and encompasses the historical historic Graysill mine and a series of mining claims. The mine was discovered in 1940s and active for a period of approximately 20 years, where it produced vanadium and byproduct uranium. During this period, the mine produced 1,500,000 pounds of vanadium at the grade of 2.41% and 52,000 pounds of uranium at a grade of 900 parts per million MMP. I don't know what parts per million. 900 parts per million.
That means that
from the sandstone hosted deposit.
How many pounds did they produce? 900 what?
52,000 pounds of uranium.
Okay, so multiply that times a million. That'll give you the number of pounds of tailings that was produced. Like 520 million pounds of tailings. Produced that.
And we wonder why we have cancer and our children are dying of cancer. Pacific engaged a geological consulting firm to conduction of a series of evaluations of Graysill from 2012 to 14. Okay, what else does it say? The historical estimate was indicative of about an additional 20 million pounds of vanadium at an estimated grade of 2.5%. And an additional 600,000 pounds of uranium.
At 800 parts per million.
Yeah.
So multiply 600,000 times a million, and that's how many pounds of tailings you get. You know, that's what I'm thinking about. Is worse than the metal itself, because they're going to use the metal, but the tailings and the whole waste process that goes into the mining and manufacture of the metal, that's where a lot of the poisons are coming from. You know, we're thinking the metal itself is evil, and yes, it is. But the tailings and the waste process from the mining and processing operation, that's really evil. You know.
The price of vanadium pentoxide has increased 119% a year to date, currently at $11 a pound. So, Jerome, your feedback is super bad again. Are you sitting close to something or something going on there?
No, I've got headphones on, so my speakers aren't working, and I've got the right microphone.
There. Whew. Okay. Hold on. Let me get you back on. Sorry, I muted you. Okay, are you there? Oh, man, wait a minute. Hold on. Wait, maybe I just hit that.
There we go.
There you go. Okay, better. I think it's when you move in a certain place, because now you sound okay.
Okay.
So we're going to have to figure that out, like to watch where you're sitting. Because right now it sounds good. When you move back, I think maybe you're sitting near some electrical thing or something.
Well, there's a refrigerator right next to me. Let me unplug it.
Oh, okay. You think that's it?
Was that it?
I don't know. We'll see in a minute, huh?
Yeah. You know, I'm trying the best with the material I got.
Point about this thing, there is so much to, like, if people want to just, like, subscribe to this thing like I did. That's what I did. I saw them. I saw this somewhere, a story by Western Uranium. They put out, quote, news stories all the time. All the time. They look like they're, and you'll see at the bottom of the story this, IR at Western Uranium Investor Relations. And so I started to subscribe to them. And so I get these little things all the time, and it is shocking. Like this, to me, I find this kind of stuff shocking, that we're still doing this.
Is your phone vibrating?
Yeah, somebody is trying to call me.
Oh.
There. Yeah. A friend of mine has a ping pong table. She wants me to come play. I'm sure that's what it is. Come play ping pong this weekend. So this is trip. Look, this is the thing. If you haven't seen this, this is the most hilarious. I love this video. I wish I had a plug-in that I can figure out how to play this. But watch, if I play this, I don't think. See if you can hear it.
Oh yeah.
Do you hear that?
Oh yeah.
I wonder if that would actually be if I played it for too long, if that's considered might be a strike. You know what I mean?
Well, as long as you give credit to Corvette report, and
standard YouTube license,
and tell them it's for Creative Commons, you know, not for profit. I don't think they can really mess with you.
Yeah, but I do. I monetize. I am actually monetizing these videos. You know why? Because I know if I monetize them, YouTube will actually get them seen a little bit, push them out there a little bit, because they want people to see my ads. So and there was a time I actually was closed off to them. I'm gonna stop sharing. There was a time when I was like locked out of being able to monetize, because I had never monetized, and then I did a little for like 1 month, and then I got money like in my account from like a Walmart ad. I was so pissed off. I'm like, oh my God, I don't want to give any money to Walmart. So I just said, forget that, cancel the whole thing. I don't want to have to participate with Walmart. So they like put me out completely. So I had to like petition to be able to run ads again. And I said, look, I get it.
That's anything, because I want to be able to use Creative Commons, and you know, so far
I could do it on Creative Commons, but I mean, you can use Creative Commons. I just keep this on standard. This is also my first series where I have, if you look at all my other videos, they're all Creative Commons. Very few of them are standard YouTube license. But I've sort of decided, like, no, because people on YouTube have like used clips of my videos and chopped it up and used it against me. You know what I mean? Like, no. Edit it out. You can make it sound like somebody's saying something, twisting people's words. It wasn't me. It was somebody on my show. They sort of twisted words around, and it was like, oh, no. You know, I mean, that's the thing about the Circular Firing Squad, about all these. I find that activist groups are just so busy being active, like they aren't. I don't think they believe in the commonality of getting together. Like you have to fit into a certain box. You know what I mean? For them to find you acceptable. And it's that everybody has their own sort of like groove of what fits. Do you know what I'm saying? And I think that is a block for us. I mean, because really, I think the commonality is we want solutions. We want a different kind of culture. We want them to like be able to admit that, yeah, we've been on the wrong track, but we're going to like change the industry from mining more to cleaning up and remediating and getting. These are all going to be big government contracts, because the government owns all this mess. You think the reason that we have a deficit, a huge deficit, is because we're doing like corn subsidies. You know what I mean? Like, that's ridiculous to be making GMO corn so much so that we're affecting the bee population.
Yeah, and the bird population.
Yeah, and ignoring the real harm that, you know, the fracking, like really like the come to Jesus thing. Like, look what happened in Flint. We haven't kept up our infrastructure, and our water is very tainted. Our roads are broken. So we need a different kind of a structure where we take care of our country. That's what I think.
Well, I made a video today about Fukushima, and you should check that out. But it's this Japanese lady who lives in Japan who's doing a collaborative clinic in Fukushima.
So sit forward, brother. That's what it is.
It's independent of the government. She's doing a collaborative clinic, and she did a study at a talk at a Hanford talk. And she's Japanese. It was in Japanese translated, but she talked about the nuclear taboo, about how in Japan it's taboo. You know, the older generations are like, hey, there's no problem. Good, we got our land back. I don't see any problem. I don't smell anything bad.
I feel great.
Here's vegetables I grew in my garden. Feed them to your children. And the younger people are like, okay, Grandpa. And then they throw the vegetables away. They can't talk about it. It's taboo to say, Grandpa, don't you understand? There's radiation in that food. And Grandpa will be like, how dare you? How dare you deny the food that I'm trying to feed your children with? There's no radiation. The government says there's no radiation. So are you saying the government's lying?
Yes,
You
we
know,
are.
well, yeah, I am. Well, then you are just a bad person then. That's the nuclear taboo, and it's the same here in this country.
Yes, it is, man.
You know, I tried to talk to my sister-in-law after I measured 5 millisieverts per hour off a piece of salmon. I told her the next day, you know, that fish was radioactive, and she's like,
did you really measure 5?
Yeah, yeah, on a piece of salmon.
You used the little Geiger counter?
Yes, I did.
And you
I
put
went
it
from 0.1 to 5, from 0.01 to 5.
0.1 all the way up to 1 to...
0.01 millisieverts.
And then it went up to 5.0?
Yes. Yeah,
Wow.
on a piece of salmon. I was shocked.
And you just held it on top?
I just held it like a half an inch away from the top. The Geiger counter's in a plastic bag.
Right.
So it won't get contaminated.
Could
But
you
yeah,
do that? You
I
know
told her
what?
about that, and she was like, oh, God. You know, you're overreacting.
You know what you need to do the next time you need to do that? You need to get that salmon. You need to get a piece of salmon and prepare it the same and see if it will happen again. It probably will. But get your video camera out. You should document.
Yeah.
Every time you take a measurement, you take your camera out.
Yeah. And then I told somebody else today.
Wow.
About the guy that runs around Fukushima silently measuring that he was picking up 5 millisieverts an hour.
Yeah, that guy. Yeah.
And my brother was like, you know what? That's like 1/1,000,000th of a sievert. That's just such a small amount.
Right. It doesn't mean anything.
And you know, and I at that point he shut me down. But I wanted to say no. That's like getting a chest X-ray once an hour, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Look, the Geiger counter even goes off in that video. The Geiger counter goes beep, 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 beep.
So,
but
I mean,
it's not, we're not
making
this
that's
stuff
the taboo. That is the taboo. You know, it's the people.
Well, I told you I lost friends over this, Jerome. I lost some people that I really liked. I met some people that I really jived with, and my friend just said, "This, if that's all you're going to talk about, I can't be friends with you." It's not that all I talk about, but if you're going to go to a restaurant and order a fish taco, my eyes are going to fall out of my head. I'll look at you like, are you crazy?
Yeah, I won't eat fish again.
I mean, fish absorbs the cesium-137 and magnifies it 1,000 times.
Right. So do cows.
Yes.
In their milk and in the beef.
Well, the thing is with cows, the cows just consume a lot of it. You get what I'm saying? Cows have a different mechanism because they don't magnetize it. They just consume a lot of the material that contains low-level radioactive. They consume mass amounts of low-level radioactivity.
Yeah, so then it bioaccumulates in their milk.
So much faster because they eat so much more. Every day they're constantly consuming it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, wow, I know. Well, we've been here a half an hour, man. That's interesting. It goes really fast, doesn't it?
It sure does, and I enjoy
glad
doing
you
this.
joined me. It's nice. I'm glad you joined me, and I'm glad that we're, we're bringing in awareness to people. This is a thing, and I think people are actually, I don't know, like somehow we have to figure out how it has to be okay to talk about it, and we can't just talk about like all the negative stuff. Well, I mean, it is all negative, but I mean, we don't have to feel like life is completely screwed. You know what I mean? Because it's not. There's still a lot to live for and a lot to live with. And I really believe that the more positive we are, the quicker the solution will come. And because the weight of the corruption will corrupt itself. It's going to collapse in on itself because love is greater than fear.
Yes, it is.
So
we got to put our courage feet on.
Exactly.
You know, put your courage feet on, people.
Yeah, take action. And even if you think it's pointless, still call your congressman and tell them, you know what, the HR, this Nuclear Waste Policy Amendment Act cannot just be something they sweep under the rug and pass easily. It must be stopped. That has to stop. And we have to stop the assault, like the lies. We have to like stop the Price-Anderson Act. We need the Price-Anderson Act amended, period. We need accountability.
And we need the Mining Act of 1856 amended to include uranium mine tailings and have responsibility for those in the hands of the mining companies to clean that up, or not make that in the first place.
Crime. I mean, this is the sad part. Many of the Native Americans have become attorneys. If you look at this, look into it, they all became like professionals, health professionals or attorneys, because they've had to protect their communities. It's outrageous. It's like an assault.
Yeah, so, it's a nuclear war, and we are victims of a nuclear war.
Ongoing.
You know, in the name of national security, in the name of our own safety, we are being killed off. You know, and to fight against it is to fight against our quote unquote personal safety and the safety of our quote unquote country.
Well, that's what dictators say. So I'm like not about that. I will stick to our Constitution, and our Constitution says we have a right to free speech and we have a right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And as Dr. John Goffman wrote, the nuclear industry and the technologists have literally taken that away from us. Yes, and now they have shifted things so that we need them. We need their brains. We need this technology. We need stuff. We need them to fix it so that we can like get the planet back to a livable, breathable space if we're going to share it with the creatures on this planet, man.
And our great grandchildren. That's what everybody's forgetting about. You know, how is this going to affect 12, 15, 20, 30 generations down the road?
Well, if you believe that we're going to have 15 generations down the road, we might have a few thousand people in 200 years, 300
well, there you go. You got to think positive. We got to arouse the resistance of the 99% against the 1%. You know, we are the 99%. Well, I think
the resistance is there, Jerome. It's not that the resistance isn't there. That's the thing. It's not like the resistance isn't there. The resistance is there. It's just, how do you overcome the oppression of they have everything. They can do whatever they want. They can surveil us. They can, I mean, it is really like astoundingly, the one thing they can't do is take away our belief in life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. We have a constitution, and as Trader Trump is finding out, he's not the dictator. It's the things are coming out. We have a judicial system, and he complained about our judicial system as if he was a dictator. He doesn't get to rewrite our judiciary. Do you know what I mean? No concept of what the law means or any regard for it, because he's always been able to get out of it. He's, you know, BK'd how many times? It's ridiculous. 4 times? 6 times? I don't know. I mean, it's a lot.
Yeah.
That's complete irresponsibility. At a certain point, they ought to say, no, you can't keep doing this. And it should happen after the 2nd time. If you BK'd 2 times, after the 3rd time, sorry, you lose everything. Everything. I mean, this is the inequity. See, this is what you call the free rider system, where some people are taking advantage. Like, he's a free rider. He wants to have all this stuff, and then when it gets to be too big, he says, sorry, I can't pay you. And those kind of people use up everybody else's stuff very quickly.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you go camping with somebody who eats all the food. You know what I mean? Like, you wake up in the morning and oh, well, I got hungry in the middle of the night, so they got up and ate everything before everyone got up, right? That's the free rider system. So some people starve. I mean, this is why when people say they hate being political, we are stuck being political because of the maybe before the nuclear industry, it didn't matter so much.
Yeah, I get it.
But now it matters. It matters what happens, because this is a matter of extermination event or not. And I think we're on the cusp, the cusp of being able to make or break it. And I'm believing that we're going to make it. I'm an optimist, you know.
I recommend that everybody watch that video today. Listen to what this Japanese lady says. She's got so much.
Your video today? Well, let me go find it. Hold on. Since it doesn't matter. I mean, we can go as long as we want. Okay, let me go to your channel.
Yeah, it's called Fukushima Children. Thyroid cancer up 60 times.
Here it is. Fukushima cancer rates up 60 times, 37 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah, most of that is her interview.
Really?
And, yeah, that I had to literally screen capture the video and hold my microphone next to the speaker on the computer. It actually turned out
So
pretty
you
good.
interviewed her on your phone?
No. This was done at a Hanford meeting. Community meeting at the Hanford.
Oh, I see. Oh, yeah. I saw this. When did you see this? When was this?
I Googled radiation and cancer, and I came up with that link.
Yeah, but when was it produced?
2014.
I think I saw this. I watched this one a few times. This is very compelling, wasn't it?
It made me understand the true meaning of the nuclear taboo. You know.
Well, actually, in Japan, they have now. This is what generated. I believe this is what I believe. Why they started the secrecy laws is because these women were out stopping them.
Right.
Hold on, I forgot to screen share you guys. Sorry about that. Go ahead.
But she's like really living dangerously, you know, because they disappear people there. You know, there was one doctor who stood up against them. Yeah, this lady right here. And he even told her, hey, die and you hear it was suicide, believe that there's no way in the world that it could possibly be suicide. And sure enough, a couple weeks later, he died of suicide.
Wow.
So yeah, the government in Japan is literally killing people like gangsters.
Well, it is gangsters running the show. That's who they hired at Fukushima, as a matter of fact.
Yes.
Literally, gangsters are running the show. But part of what they've also done, and this is Jerome's channel, you guys. You can go look for this. Cancer rates up 60 times. This is why they have the secrecy laws, though, because they don't want people to know about it.
Right.
They want to keep it hidden.
Right, because they want to maintain the taboo.
Not just maintain it, man, enforce it. Like, that's like a big, I don't know, like, I think we need to just stop them. I think we need to just talk about it. That's why I'm going to come on here every night. I always say I want to do it for just a little while, but then we get into it. By the time it's only a half an hour or 20 minutes, it's like, maybe what we should do, Jerome, is just practice doing like little 15-minute ones, and we'll just stop at 15 minutes and then get back on.
Yes.
How's about that?
Yeah, maybe we should practice an interview technique too, a style where one of us interviews the other. You know, discuss in advance. This is the situation. Yeah, you know, that's a possibility too.
Oh, that's an interesting thing. We should both interview each other to see how we got into this, because
yes,
I mean, the way I got into it really was just because of Carl Grossman. I mean, it's been an interesting journey understanding that we're living in an environment that is just completely toxic.
Horribly toxic.
Your sound, man, just gets to me, brother.
Well, it sounds fine on YouTube, though. I think it's because you got feedback coming through your speakers. So that's what I think it is. If you had headphones in, I think it would work better.
Oh, okay. Well, hold on. All right. Well, I'll have my headsets plugged in then tomorrow night. We'll try it tomorrow night.
Excellent. So make sure you send me a link. I will be here with bells on.
Okay.
All right.
Bye, you guys. Put your
courage. Good night, everybody.
Ciao.
Bye.